apart from your acting, which was rather poor. So we haven't done DVDs, and there are some interesting DVDs coming up, and here's a list.
Well, the thing I want to flag up is the release of The Devils. The Ken Russell movie The Devils is released on BFI DVD on Monday, and as regular listeners to the show will know, I was a huge fan of Ken's. I was privileged to know him personally, and he should be greatly missed. The Devils, in my opinion, is his finest work. And what the BFI have done is they've now issued The Devils in a package in a sort of nice spanking print with loads of extras. And I should say right from the beginning that I've been involved in that because I've done a lot of work on The Devils over time. So there's a documentary about the making of it called Hell on Earth, which I'm involved in, and sleeve notes. Now, the most important thing is this. Is
this a big puff, then?
Well, I'm hoping not, but I'm just flagging that
Lots
up
of
in
your
advance.
Work up there.
Well, unfortunately, I have sort of... Yes, I'm like a plague on The Devils DVD. But the thing I want to say is this. There's been a lot of question about which version of The Devils it is. There was the British X-rated version, which is the version that opened in cinemas, and it is that version. There was then a cut-down American R-rated version, which was horrible, really, really horrible, just made no sense whatsoever. But that, for a long time, was the version that was available. There is also a director's cut, which Ken did in 2004, which we premiered at when I did the horror season at the NFT, and that put back in a famously censored sequence, which lasts a few minutes long.
What happens in that sequence?
Well, it's the climactic, blasphemous orgy, which Ken always saw as a very important part of the film. Now, that is not in the version of the film that's on the BFI release. The BFI release is the original X-rated version, which Ken referred to in a piece that was published in the Times recently that he wrote just before he died as the UK director's cut. Not to be confused with the director's cut, which is the longest possible version, which has only ever been shown in film festivals. And the simple reason is this. Warners, who own the film, who sub-license it to the BFI, will only allow it to be released in its X-rated cut. So the BFI DVD is the X-rated cut, the version that opened in the UK in the 1970s. Not the horribly bowdlerised American version, the R-rated version, but also not the extended version, because... Now, I hope at some point in the future that the extended version will be available, but at the moment this is the longest properly released version, and they've done a great job with putting it back together. But the most important thing is, for my money, it's Ken Russell's best film. He described it as my most, if not my only, political film, a film about brainwashing, a film about the unholy relationship between the church and the state. Unbelievable central performances by Oliver Reed and Vanessa Redgrave, and something which really stands the test of time. We have a quick clip. Want to hear that?
Yes.
Yes, Sister in Christ, I must question you. Will you kneel down? Do you remember the first time your thoughts were turned to evil things?
Yes, Father. I had a vision. I saw a man walking across the waters of a lake. I dried his person with my hair. I had a great knowledge of love, which persisted throughout my prayers. I could not rid my mind of this man for several days.
Who was this man?
There was a mist, I couldn't see him.
This is nothing. This public exorcism was a mistake. Let's stop it now before we become the laughingstock of the entire town.
We are unconvinced, my dear sister. And if our conviction remains untouched, I do not have to remind you that you face eternal damnation.
Anyway, so in my opinion, Ken Russell's best film, now released in the best version currently available. And I think, if you're a Russell fan, if you're not a Russell fan, really, really worth checking out. But I did, as I said, I did necessary to express a vested interest in that because I was...
No, fair enough. Absolutely, I have to declare an interest.
Yep.
I was not involved at any stage.
No, that's why it's okay for you.
Thank you for not...
Have you seen it,
asking me? I've never seen The Devils.
You should see it.
Should I see it in which version should I see?
Well,
it?
this is the. I mean, there is, as I keep saying, there is also this extended director's cut, but that's not going to be released at any point in the near future. It's only played at a couple of film festivals, and at the moment, it looks like that's the only place it's going to.
Is there a 12A sort of family-friendly version?
Yes, it's called The Not So Devils. It's called The Devilish Things.
So what we have,
it's called Those Little Devils.
Kind of the devils, which got a bit of a bad press at the time.
It's called All Those Naughty Devils.
The Devils?
The Devils?
With a question mark.
Altered States.
Okay, so that's out this week. So that's our DVD of the week.
Yep.
And the album of the week?
From me?
Not from you, no.